Hoy celebramos la primer fin de semana de Adviento y también un año nuevo empieza en la iglesia hoy. Y este tiempo es un tiempo para esperanza. La primera vela de nuestro Advent wreath signifies hope as well. Y ese tiempo en nuestro mundo ahora necesitamos esperanza. It's a time that we come together to celebrate Thanksgiving, that we give thanks for the blessings that we have in our lives, but also es un tiempo para preparar nuestros corazones para recibir la luz del mundo, Jesús en Navidad. Pero hoy no es Navidad. Ese tiempo no es Navidad. Hay 4 semanas de Adviento para preparar, para recibir a Dios en Navidad. Pero en nuestro mundo ahora olvidamos esta idea. Afuera de la iglesia, Adviento no existe, preparación no existe. Necesitamos ahora Navidad. In fact, since October 30th, out in Elk City, they've been celebrating Christmas. And yet, we as Christians and as Catholics don't celebrate until December 25th, or the evening of December 24th, leading into Christmas. Why? Because every season is important for its specific reason. Just like Cuaresma es tiempo para preparación para Pascua, Adviento es tiempo para preparación por Navidad. As we receive Christ anew at Christmas, we receive the gift of our salvation anew every year at Easter. But you don't skip over Lent to get to Easter, do you? Well, some of us do. We don't like to celebrate Lent because it's a hard time, right? It's a time of prayer and fasting and almsgiving. But so too, Advent is an opportunity for us to be intentional. Pongan atención. To place attention on what really matters in our world. And what matters the most in our lives? Well, we want the answer to be God, por supuesto. Pero por muchos de nosotros, Dios no es la más importante cosa en nuestras vidas. What are those things that we put in front of our relationship with God? And how do we use the time that He has given to us to change that? You know, for many people, this season isn't a season of hope. It's a season of despair and distress and depression. Because many people don't have a family, don't have the ability to celebrate. Reminded in seminary, one of my high school friends, his mother died on Thanksgiving Day. And I wasn't able to be there for him. And so he doesn't like to celebrate Thanksgiving. Why? Because it's a reminder of the day that God took his mom away. Because as a teenager, that's how we feel many times. That when our loved ones die, they're taken from us. But now as an adult, many times it's hard for us to look at the blessings that we have many times in life. You know, it was funny this afternoon when I contacted the office staff and said, "Lo siento, we don't have any heat in the church." It is what it is. Hay partes en nuestro mundo que no hay heat. Ever. In fact, when we went to Ireland for those 2 weeks, there were 4 of the churches we went into where it was cold in the church and people would walk by the heaters and touch them and they weren't hot. They're like, "Father, I can see my breath." I said, "I know. You don't think about that at home in Oklahoma, do you?" "Well, no. We always have heat." Be careful what you say. Because we got home and didn't have any heat. And yet it's nearly 60 degrees in here. It's not too bad right now. It was colder this morning when it was about 50 degrees in the church. And tomorrow morning, when it's supposed to be probably 30 degrees outside when Mass starts, probably going to be a little frigid. But it's still a blessing. Porque tenemos un espacio por oración. And we can keep out the elements outside. How many things do we take for granted on a daily basis? Not only the heat that we have, but a roof over our heads and lights to be able to have Mass at night. The ability to come together as a community of faith. These things we take for granted on a daily basis, and yet Adviento es una oportunidad para convertir nuestros corazones, para preparar nuestros corazones para recibir la luz del mundo, the light of the world, Jesus Christ at Christmas. Entonces, este tiempo es un tiempo de esperanza, if we want it to be. But for many of us, we're going through a lot of chaos of life. I was reminded of that yesterday when I saw on Facebook a young priest up in Iowa who had committed suicide, took his own life. We forget many times those around us struggle with depression the same way that we do at times in life, you know? Oh no, priests, they're fine. We aren't fine. Any priest that tells you he's fine, he's lying to you. Because there's always something going on in our hearts and in our minds that is personal, but also we worry about our family of faith and our family of origin. Got to spend the last 48 hours with my own family, but then I had to leave them to come back here to a place with no heat. And yes, I could have been upset about that, but I came home, turned on the TV, got to watch some football in bed in my nice warm blanket with heat in my house, and then got all dressed up to come over here with no heat yet again. So we have the ups and downs and the ebbs and flows of life, sometimes good, other times not. And I say all of that to say, we need to take this time. Necesitamos tomar ese tiempo to have intention. Why are we doing what we're doing? Why are we not doing what others are doing? You know, yesterday I went with my family to go see a movie at Tinseltown in Oklahoma City. I haven't seen a movie theater that packed in probably 15 years. Just to get to the concessions, 85 people in line. And they even opened the side concessions with 20 people in those lines. I'm like, I don't need junk food that bad. And so it's a nice time for us to rejoice and have this fun and go see these movies, but if we do that instead of spend time with God, what is our intention? How do we put God first? You know, unfortunately here in Elk City, we only have the one movie theater. And typically we have one movie once a day at 7 o'clock, because that's typically when I go and see them, is 7 o'clock. In the city, you've got 15 movie theaters and all these screens and different times of the day, but who wants to drive an hour to go see a movie? Sometimes I do. But who wants to drive an hour to go see God? Who's willing to drive an hour to go see God and to spend time with Him and to praise Him? We don't normally think about that. Well, I'm willing to go to the city to go to a nice dinner, but I won't drive 15 minutes to spend more time with God. Why is that? Because when the rubber meets the road, as the saying goes, many times it's easier for us to give lip service to God than to give heart service to God, to truly practice what we preach. There's sometimes, even as a priest, I'm like, I don't have the energy. Do we really have to have extra masses? Do we really have to have all these things? No, we don't. But that's the wrong question. The right question is, what should we be doing? We should be here celebrating Mass. Is it inconvenient to have 4 Masses a weekend? To myself, yes. To Kathy, yes. Christine's like, no. But for the people that come to these Masses, this is the high point, or should be the high point of your week. Time with Christ, present in the Eucharist, to receive body, blood, soul, and divinity, our God, to give us what we need to live outside of these walls, to be our hope when we don't have it, to be our strength when we don't have it, to be that extra willpower when we don't have it. Necesitamos más tiempo durante este tiempo de Adviento con Dios. Pero es nuestra opción para recibir y cambio, or to deny it and say, no está Adviento. Posiblemente próximo, o próximo, o próximo. Or one of these days there won't be a next time. And we don't know when that's going to be. And that sometimes will lead to depression for some of us. Oh my gosh, Lord, is this my last Advent? I don't know. If it is, how have you lived it? How will you live it? How will you take this opportunity to change? And it's easy to say that to the kids because they're like, yeah, Father, we're going to do this. Or they're like, Father, will you stop talking? But if mom and dad don't allow you to spend more time with God, it's hard for you to do it yourself unless you can drive. So Rosa, you don't have to listen to mom and dad. You have to come to church. Jocelyn, you can drive. You can come to church. Abraham, you're still stuck with your family. And you can't drive, legally or not. No. 4 more years. We have a whole nother election before you can drive. But for those of you who can drive, take that opportunity. Even to bring your younger brothers to church. When mom and dad aren't able to come. To bring your aunts or uncles or nieces or nephews or brothers or sisters. That is the greatest gift that you can give. It's the greatest gift you can give yourself this season as well, is to spend more time with God. And as we celebrate this first Sunday of Advent, the Sunday where we light the candle of hope, my hope is that all of us take this time to prepare ourselves for Christ. You know, there's that hymn that we hear every year, Joy to the World. I didn't realize it until a few years ago. It even talks about preparation and Advent in that. Did you know that? It says, let every heart prepare him room. It's talking about Advent. Porque si no hay espacio en su corazón para recibir Dios, no hay espacio en su corazón por Dios. Entonces, ese tiempo, espero que vamos a cambiar para limpiar nuestros corazones y eliminar los pecados y preparar nuestros corazones para recibir la luz del mundo. En 4 semanas, en Navidad.